What's up, guys? Welcome back to the X Podcast. Today I'm here with my ex-partner and the girl who stole my partner away. Welcome, Gabby and Veronica. Gabby, how do you feel being the one who's married next to the two girls who are single?
Really? I feel like I'm better than both of you.
Boys are so fun to talk about. I feel like when you're insecure, getting a certain type of girl or like getting someone is like almost like a validation of
Act like you're not a fucking brokey for 2 seconds.
And by the way, anytime a girl says, "No, I actually have a hoodie that could fit you," and pulls out like some random hoodie, just know that was one of her ex's hoodies. It's always the unemployed motherfucker who is the most dominant.
Guys with no jobs, they better fuck the best. You have no job.
Literally,
this is your only
you're
job.
sleeping on a couch. Yeah, you have to fuck to be able to shower in the morning.
I love athletes.
I
Like,
mean,
straight up.
I think any guy would want to fuck their favorite athlete. So I think they're just jealous. But sometimes guys can actually be more insecure than women, but I don't understand why.
Sometimes.
Because they have way
Men marry when they're ready whoever the fuck is in front of them. You know what my husband told me actually that I found really interesting? My man is out with his single friends and he'd bring in a bunch of single girls, like, and he's like, "I'm not paying for this girl's drink." I would be
embarrassed.
repulsed.
I filled out my application and I just didn't submit it because I was like, my problem is if by chance, like whatever, I would get chosen, I wouldn't be able to say
But
no.
you would be the Leah of the season.
But I would.
You're listening to the X Podcast. The X you keep coming back to.
Hey guys, we are filming today at 760 Media. It is located on DeCarry Street. I actually filmed the episode with Veronica and Gabby here because in my studio we only fit 2 people, and this location is perfect for having several guests on. As you can see, we filmed in this first room. It was so fun, easy. We all had a microphone. There was even space for another guest. If you're looking into podcasting and are looking to film somewhere, you should really check out 760 Media, and I have a discount code for you, X the podcast at checkout for 15% off. Enjoy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the X Podcast. Today I'm here with my ex-partner and the girl who stole my partner away. Welcome, Gabby and Veronica.
The other woman
Yeah, the mistress right in the middle.
who became the wife.
Yeah. I mean, you know what they say, how you lose them. Wait.
You lose them.
How you get them is how you lose them.
Yeah.
Soon we're going to be 4 people with my new...
I figured I had both of you on separately. It was only right we did an episode, all of us.
Yep.
You were hungover yesterday.
Yep.
Well, today.
Today. I'm hungover today. You know I always get it. A nice Thursday night is my favorite time to stir shit up. Like
Thursdays are the best.
Nothing goes down like a Thursday night. No one expects it. It's not a Saturday.
Only the elite are out. Like all the basics are out on Saturday and Friday.
Yeah.
But
Only
then
the special ones are out on a Thursday.
Where did you go?
I mean,
Rose Orange.
yeah, I started at Rose Orange.
Okay.
Then I went to Cathcart Terrace. Then I went to Cathcart. Then I went to Marcus. Then I went to Palma. So, you know, where didn't I go?
I don't know if I could say this, but I feel like every time you go to Cathcart, you see your ex.
Yeah, I saw my ex.
Every week.
Actually, at Rose Orange. So we
Oh,
all
okay.
ended
Well,
up.
I mean, it's
You
1
guys
second
went
away.
down together, down to Cathcart?
Nope.
You guys don't even need to text. You just, if you want to see him, you just go there on a Thursday.
Yeah, I'm like, I know I'm running into my... You know what's funny, though? To be honest, it's crazy because I feel like you either have the ex that you never run into again,
Like me.
run into
me
again,
too.
or it's someone you see all the fucking time. And it's crazy how, like, in my life, I've always... Like, my first serious boyfriend, I don't know if you remember Evan.
Yeah.
From the day I
Cherry
broke up
tip
with him...
nose.
From the nicest nose ever, by the way.
Nicest
That's all I
nose.
remember. I
That's
wish I
an
could
egg
bring
for
that
me.
guy's nose to my fucking nose doctor. I never, since the day I broke up with him, never saw him again. Which is so weird. You're like...
That is a bit crazy.
Never again.
Yeah.
Like, not even in passing, not even just one time. Guys, it's been, I mean, what, 8 years? Maybe
But
more.
also, like, I feel like he's not the guy who would be in the scene, like, at all. Any place you would be at,
But
he would
still,
never
like,
be there.
Just, I've
Like, send
ran
me a
into every
sign.
other ex, but not him. Crazy. It's like, oh, like, hey, what's up?
How are you guys, though, when you see an ex? Are you like, I'm going to pretend I didn't see them and I'm just going to walk past? Or, like, act like you're on your phone? Or are you like, no, I'm going to say hi?
No, I'm on 100. Like, it's like you're seeing anyone else. Like, what's up?
I'm
Nice
on
to see- it
100,
depends
but I
on
need
what
to do
ex,
laps.
by the way. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
There's one ex that, like, If I feel there's a vibe, like maybe we'll stay far away from each other. Maybe it's best that we just don't say hi. But most I say hi to, like, I don't really.
I think it's better to say hi than that weird, like, you know, you see each other, like you're on. I like to get shit out of the way.
Me too.
But I need to do a lap. I need to figure out my route of how I'm like passing by. Oh, hey, how are you? I need maybe 2 shots of tequila and then I'm going up and I'm saying hi. But I have to say hi.
I can't
because
pretend.
I can't have fun.
But like, why don't they come say hi?
I have huge balls. So. Pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty much, you know, that's what it is.
I feel like they pretend not to see you.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are like insecure. I like live in my delusional world where like it's a bigger deal for them than it is.
I'm going to be honest. If I don't have to go, I'm not going.
If they're like 5 tables away from me, I'm not going out of my way through the
Excuse
crowd.
me.
By the way, it has to be slick.
Yeah.
Like, I need to know my entrance and exit route. Like, I'm not going in there and I'm shuffling around the table like at a family gathering and you're double kissing everyone. I'm not doing that. Like, it needs to be like a, oh, hey, how are you?
One
See you
time I was
later.
at an
Like,
intimate house party and like it was maybe 10 people.
I would
probably.
die. I would die.
Oh,
And like we're not saying hi to each other. And at one point I'm like, what a loser.
Were you with your new partner?
No,
Like,
I was alone. He came later, but like no one said hi. And then when he came, he said hi to my husband. And no one said hi to anyone except for my ex said hi to my husband. They don't even really know each other.
that's weird.
Weird move.
Yeah, that's a weird move.
We're like 8 people in the house. Like, just say hi. You're making it weird for
You guys are
everyone.
all having a conversation. Like,
Now
there's
everyone's
8
looking
people.
at us, by the way, and they're like, "What?
Oh, that's weird. I would have
What's
left.
going on?"
I would have left.
so what are we talking about, guys? Boys?
I feel like there's nothing else to ever talk about.
Boys are so fun to talk about. Guys, at the end of the day, we love you, huh? We just sit here every week and talk about boys.
We do it all for you.
Last week when we were all together, we were talking about how Veronica attracts insecure men. And I wanted to tap into that.
Veronica gets fooled by the fake confidence. Veronica gets fooled by guys who like are, and it's mostly those guys who are insecure that are like, me, I
But
get,
what do
I
you
got my
think it
shit
is? Do you think
together.
it's because they see like your very like loud personality and they're like, let me see if I can like make her laugh. Let me see if I can make the comedian laugh.
I think she has her shit together and they're like, what can I bring to this girl that she can't bring to herself? Like, it's almost like, how much more of a man can I be?
I think it's a, and
they're always let down.
Yeah.
They're always like, I'm nothing.
I think it's like, and I don't want to say this as if like it's not like oh, I'm so cocky to look at myself this way, but I think for some guys, like I feel like when you're insecure, getting a certain type of girl or like getting someone is like almost like a validation of like, yeah, like I'm that guy. And I feel like sometimes like the loudest insecure people, like they almost want to get you, not because of you, but because they want to be like, not
Validated.
associated with you, but like validated by like, I like that's my girl. And like they feel like if they're with you, they're just as good as you are. So like a guy who's intimidated by you almost wants to be with you to neutralize the fact like, no, we're equals. Like I got her. You know what I mean?
But
and
then the
that's
second
why I
they
think
get you, that's when it changes.
that's
And
when
then
it's more
that's when
insecure and where they're like intimidated in the way we're like, oh, I'm not good enough for you, da da da. And it's like this kind of like, but that's what attracted them in the first place.
But
if that
that's what
makes
they
sense.
say, like, give an ugly guy a chance. It's the same thing with insecure guys. Like, give an insecure guy a chance. He's somehow gonna fuck it up. And now you just gave him, like, the legit, like, validation of, like, just being with him. And you kind of, like, upped his real estate now. So now he really thinks he...
Yeah, that's the problem. You give these fucking guys a chance and then they start thinking...
And you could not care easily. Like, and I find you never really get too torn up about breakups, honestly. Like, once you make a decision, you're pretty...
Yeah,
I think that's women, though. Once we make the decision, it's like, we already broke up with you a year ago.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually like I'm always the breakup-er. Like
That's nice.
But
wow.
to be
Yeah,
honest,
good for you.
I want to say, in my defense, I actually think, and this is not to be like, oh, it's so hard to be me, but I think it's more difficult to be the person breaking up with someone because you have more responsibility. Like you have more to like upkeep. Like you know that if you break no contact, it's like you're the one controlling what's happening. So you can't have a vulnerable moment and be like, oh, I just want to talk to you.
I guess.
Does that make sense?
I didn't think about it like that. I thought, like, for me, it's harder. Oh, please don't die. Veronica's having a heart attack right now. It's fine. Okay.
It's just
As you were saying, you never get broken up with? Yeah.
it's just my heart beats too fast, but I can't really talk when it's happening.
Hey, let's just slow it down. You
Yeah.
just made me very nervous.
I feel like this... No. I feel like this happens when you drink.
Yeah, no, it's like a hangover thing too.
Yeah.
It makes it worse for sure. But it's like an anxiety thing, but it's also like a heart thing. It's not like I'm not anxious right now. No stress, guys. I'm not afraid of you.
Okay.
Right. Anyway,
yeah.
let me repeat what I was saying. So I feel like breaking up with someone, you have more responsibility for the breakup. So like you can't break up with someone and then abuse the fact that you know you're the one making the decision. Like you need to be aware enough to know that you're in control in this situation. And it's difficult because you're both going through a big breakup. You know what I mean? Like if you're the one that's like, I still love you, but I'm choosing to leave you, it's really difficult to keep that going. Does that make sense? And I don't want it to sound like...
It makes sense. But I never thought about it that way. Like but I do agree with you that being the breaker-upper is harder than getting dumped, only because most of the time, like, you feel more guilt. You know, it's like, especially like when you're breaking up with someone because you just kind of fell out of love or like, you know, you don't align with them anymore and you maybe outgrew the relationship. It's like, fuck, I'm hurting this person's feelings. I feel bad. And like, I feel like shit. Whereas, you know, when you get cheated on, which seems to happen to me all the time, God. I could sleep at night, like knowing that I didn't hurt anyone. Like I'm the one getting fucked here. My good karma is coming my way.
Yeah, but also when you break up with someone, you know that the person who's getting broken up with, that's their time to shine after.
Yeah,
like the glow up is coming because like no one shines more than someone who's been fucking hurt. Yeah. You know, then they're in
skinny.
Depression, skinny, then they're in the gym, and then suddenly it's worse for you because you're like, did I make the right decision? This guy is becoming the hottest guy ever. What are we doing here?
But it's like when you get broken up with, you don't have a choice. Like there's no like discussion. It's like that person is saying, hey, we're not together, and you're just dealing with that. Whereas when you're the person breaking up, you're making the decision. You're like tasked with keeping the decision going. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's harder, but there is a different type of difficulty where like you're going through the breakup as well and you miss them, but you know it's in your hands and you're the one that's like leading and is more dominant in this situation.
And suddenly I want to be broken up with. Crazy. Veronica just changed the whole script, guys. You want to be broken up with, you don't want to break up.
So when you're broken up with, you go do what you want.
Straight up.
I would prefer to get dumped, I think.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Has it ever happened to you,
like,
Veronica?
I've never been dumped, but I really want to experience it one day.
I have never in a long-term relationship. It's always been like more situationships. Like it's happened to me 2 times and it was always really difficult for me to get over. But at the end of the day, it was like, it's heartbreak, it's shit, but then you get over it. Whereas like, when it's your decision, you're always like you said, did I make the right decision? Like, like you feel like you have this control, and it's so hard.
I feel
to
like
move on
getting
from that.
dumped in a situationship is a little bit more heartbreaking.
Okay, we could talk about situationships because I feel like that happens to me every month. But because it's always just because it never was. It's not because it's just the fantasy of what you thought the relationship. It's what could have been, but it's what your imagination thought the whole relationship would be, which was all like roses. And what a beautiful relationship that just never happened. So you never saw like all the bad shit. So it's just harder to get over because you only have good to refer it to.
Yeah. Exactly. When you're in a relationship, everyone, whether you're the one broken up with or the one breaking up, there's a pros and cons. There's like, even if you're still in love with the person, you've seen their bad side, you've seen the flaws, you've seen all this shit, and it's still like either you accept it or you break up. But like you've seen that bad side. Whereas in a situationship, it's all
you
like
wish you
fantasy.
saw the bad side.
Like the bad side doesn't exist for you.
You wish.
But also
any breakup.
Any breakup, like the reason they're so hard is for some reason you like automatically forget all the bad shit and you're like, wait, why did I do this? Like now I'm alone. But it's like your mind playing tricks on you. Bottom line, you gotta just stick to it.
Gabby, how do you feel being the one who's married next to the 2 girls who are single?
Really? I feel like I'm better than both of you.
I'm kidding. It's a flex for sure.
I'm kidding, guys. You know how many frogs I've kissed before finding my prince?
Yeah, well, listen, I'm still with frogs. So.
I've been breaking into houses, fucking robbing my exes. Like, what else do you want?
Wait, you robbed your ex, please?
I'm not talking about that.
But you mentioned it.
Yeah, I know. I just realized I'm not going to incriminate myself further. No one knows which ex it was, but he deserved it.
Wait, was it robbing of clothes or money?
Who robs clothes?
I plead the 5th. And
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just stick with who robs clothes.
No, yeah. His clothes. By the way, I did rob his clothes, but like that's kind of what you sign up for.
Guys, I just said anything to see if she would bite. Okay.
You rob clothes in any relationship. I feel like I
still your fucking hoodie.
The hoodies from my high school.
By the
boyfriend.
way, very big ick for me, just off
the radar.
Cuff, when a guy's like so touchy about you borrowing his hoodie,
hate that.
or like, oh, not that one, and like, oh, well, give me back my hoodie. relax. Like,
play it cool.
dude,
Like,
play it cool.
act
Buy
like
another
you've been
fucking
here.
hoodie.
Buy another hoodie. Act like you're not a fucking brokey.
Yeah.
For 2 seconds.
You're begging me for your hoodie back.
Guys,
like,
I have a
no
story.
stress.
Get
I have
off
a-
grailed. Also, like, do me a favor.
Sorry, and it's always the Chrome Hearts hoodie, I feel like, you know?
Or an Amiri, like,
Oh my god, the
But best
Amiri.
believe if you show me the closet and you say, pick a hoodie, I'm going,
Yeah, you think I'm taking the Armani exchange
you think
hoodie
I'm-
from fucking...
wait, hold on, and you think I'm bringing it back? That's cute.
my closet now.
That is so cute.
Valid, by the way, that they're so concerned, but listen, it's
Valid.
the L you gotta take. It's
Yeah.
the transaction.
So when I was in New York like a month ago, I went out with like a couple guys and my girlfriend, and we ended up back at his beautiful spot in Tribeca. And I'm here in like my outfit. I'm like, I want like cozy clothes. So we go in his closet, you know, classic. And I'm like, oh, what are you gonna give me? And everything in there is designer. So I'm like, oh, well, I mean, let me just pick the hoodie I want to keep, I guess. And I go in there anyway. So he gives me like this 2-piece set. My girlfriend, who doesn't really know about like brands and stuff, she had like this sick Amiri hoodie on because he like pulled it out for her, and I was like, I didn't see that one, or that would be on me. And he gives it to her and gives her like a bottom, shoes, everything, okay? And then the next day, yeah, because I didn't.
Who's
Put,
your size 6
exactly.
woman?
I mean, no, I was floating in them, but you know what I mean? To leave, like I wasn't gonna leave in my heels and sweat. So,
I mean, I've been there, but yeah.
um.
There's nothing like a
Why
heels
is it
and...
sounding now like I slept with him and I'm leaving with like shoes and everything? No, we were a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Relax, we ain't at Diddy's. So whatever. So I leave, and then the next day, I'm like, okay, I'm leaving, but I felt a little bit bad. I was like, hey, he's not gonna be the one to be like, give it back. But I knew he just wanted the Amiri hoodie because it was like a limited edition. He didn't give a shit about all the other stuff. So I was like, hey, it's one thing over like he gave 8 things, you know? Anyway, so the next day I literally he left for Ibiza and I brought it to the fucking lobby with everything inside. And I was like, this is the first time I brought everything back.
You're a better woman than me.
Yeah, I would have been like, I left town.
I'd have been like, sorry, I packed it by accident. I didn't realize your XXL hoodie wasn't mine.
I don't know why it was so nice to bring it back.
No, but I get it though. Like sometimes you just like, I mean,
We
There's-
took like
there's- yes,
a lot of things. You know, it wasn't like just me. It was also like my girlfriend that he's like supporting her whole wardrobe. Like,
did you guys even have room and you're carrying on luggage?
That's okay. If we're being real, why I didn't do it? There was a lot of stuff to fit in that luggage.
Yeah,
And
makes
shoes. Like, listen.
I've had someone though, like,
My ex's hoodie, that's like a limited edition, like dime. I don't know if you guys know. I think it's a Montreal brand. So it's like very
we're
like
cultured.
you would know.
we know dime.
Yeah,
No,
like,
but
relax,
you would know if like this was your hoodie. You know what I mean? It's like a year after we break up, he like sees my cousin out in the like not the club.
Have you guys ever heard of Joy Mode?
No.
Take a look, baby girls. Do you guys work out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you like your blood flowing properly through your body?
Yes.
What about when you're doing the other kind of workout,
I like blood flow always.
right? And if a guy doesn't have that blood flowing to the, you know, down area, then we're not happy.
I'm not happy.
Go to Joy Mode and use my discount code XThePodcast at checkout for 20% off to avoid those issues. Right, Gabby?
Yeah,
You're
it's like a
married, but
booster.
this could still happen if you're taking drugs.
But what is this for women? The powder?
It's for women and men. For women, it helps with healthy blood flow. For men, it helps with healthy blood flow for 2 regions.
Interesting. So I could take one of these home?
Yeah.
You can take many of them home. Okay, so quickly, let me just show you how the website works. You're going to go on usejoymode.com and you're going to put in how many packs you want. There's packets of 10 or 30. It's really up to you on how many times you use this weekly. But like I said, it's a natural vitamin, so you can drink this every single day. It tastes like lemonade. So enjoy. Life is better with Joy Mode.
No.
We know dime.
Yeah,
No,
like
but
relax,
you would know if like this was your hoodie. You know what I mean? It's like a year after we break up, he like sees my cousin out in the like not the club but like a restaurant with the hoodie, and he calls me. Haven't spoken in like years. Like, really? Fucking Jess has my hoodie. He's like, Jess is rocking. I'm like, what do you care? Like, it's been a year,
get over
like
it.
a year and a half. Like, do you actually care? Like, she cut thumb holes in your hoodie, buddy. Like,
She cut it into a crop, babe.
No, but even my ex would do that. I'd be wearing like shirts to bed, like band t-shirts, and he would just write nice shirt. Like, okay, why are we still following each other
by the
here?
way,
get
just
passed
so you
around
know.
more than like a hooker at this point.
100%.
Between like
I
the
have my
girls.
sister's boyfriend's
Yeah.
exes from literally elementary school. I have his fucking soccer pants.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't
I'm
get
literally
it.
They don't get it.
They
And
don't get
also,
it.
by the way, I just want every guy in the world to know, any oversized t-shirt that a girl is wearing to bed has belonged to a man in her life.
Oh,
like,
wow.
None of those happen organically. You don't just buy a shirt in XL and it's comfy, cute to sleep in. Every single one has been literally
I'm sure
provided
my
by a
ex
man.
has like taken one of my oversized shirts that had belonged to my. No, sorry. I'm sure
Oh.
my husband has worn like one of my ex's shirts. You know, that's just in my closet. It's like these things. They don't have any meaning.
I remember once I was dating my ex and he was like sleeping with a girl right before we had started, and she had left a top at his place, and I saw it. I was like, oh, this is so cute. We're dating at this point. I'm putting it on. And he goes, by the way, like, just, you know, like, don't post anything in that because it belonged to a girl. I was like, wow.
But I feel like girls, we care less. Like, if I see a cute top, I don't give a fuck who
Oh my
it used to
god,
belong to. It's mine now.
I've literally
But
taken
men?
my ex's stuff. Like it was just there. I'm like, I have nothing
My
to wear. Like, why
my
not?
ex-boyfriend used to be like, oh, don't wear like lingerie that you've worn, like someone else bought you or something. I'm like, shut up. Shut up, bro.
I'm gonna
You
buy
think
a
I'm not wearing this
whole
t-shirt provocateur because someone else wears it?
I kind of understand that.
I get it. I get it.
No,
I
like,
get
okay,
it.
yeah, but like,
Depends what it is though. Like,
Just
if it's
bring
like
me
a
the
Valentine's
agent-
Day.
It's like I'm not going to buy another $500
Yeah.
outfit
No,
because you
literally.
need your ego stroked.
if you're gonna act like that, bring me to Agent Provocateur.
Oh, I would love that.
But by the way, anytime a girl says, no, I actually have a hoodie that could fit you, and pulls out like some random hoodie, just know that was one of her ex's hoodies. The amount of time I've like slick been like, no, I think one of these hoodies, like I've seen my boyfriends wearing another
That
man's
ain't your
hoodie,
girl.
but I don't.
Do you say
I
it
swear I
though?
don't- No.
No.
Yeah, you don't
They
say
don't-
it.
the
Obviously
thing is,
not.
like I
it's
said,
almost
for a
fun.
girl,
Like
we
I
don't
know
care.
something you don't know. Like you're an idiot.
It's evil, but like as a girl, I literally don't care. Like I'm just like, this is a piece of fabric to me. As a guy, they're like every
like another
clothing
man's
is-
been here. It like goes to the body count conversation.
Have you guys ever been like hooking up with a guy or dating and you find like a thong or underwear that's like at their place? And then you start thinking like, wait, is this recent? Is this
I
before?
could easily be gaslit into thinking that it's mine. Like I don't have a Rolodex of mine. Like,
that it's
no.
yours. Come on, you know your underwear. Shut up.
Yeah, no.
No, I honestly
No,
never
I-
happened to me.
Never happened to me though.
Okay, it happened to one of my friends recently.
Oh, but they were dating?
No, but they were like hooking up for a long time and she found it in the bed.
Oh, okay. Well, that happened yesterday.
Okay,
then.
yeah, that's
in the
crazy.
bed.
Yeah.
In the bed. It's
But, like,
crazy.
Yeah, that's another
But
conversation.
guys, she pulled it out and it was like a really, really, I don't know how much we could get into, but it was a really, really, really big thong.
Ooh. Now he's into some weird shit, her boy. By the way, the most disgusting thing. The most disgusting thing happened to my friend, kind of similar to that, but also way more disgusting.
But are you less hurt? Yeah, definitely.
I'm more like weirded out. I'm like, what are you into even? Like, do you like me? Like, what is this?
Am I your type?
Like, yeah. What are you doing?
If I'm pulling out a granny panty, I'm going.
It's like 21 questions, so I'm just like, let's sit down, let's debrief. What's going on here? It's like those guys who are into like weird, like lore shit, vor, whatever.
What
it's
do you
called.
do if? What do you do if your man says, "I want to wear thongs"? Like they're just more comfortable.
Well, you can also go fuck a guy.
Is that
Love of your life, though. He's a love of your life.
And he says, I want to wear a thong. Well, he can go fuck a guy.
Yeah, I mean, I have weird icks. I don't think it would fly with me. Could be the love of my life.
Wait, Veronica, in the past you said that you wouldn't mind pegging a guy. Has that
wouldn't.
changed?
No.
Oh, you're such the type.
Wait,
to
wait,
peg
that
a
hasn't
guy.
changed?
No.
You would still peg a guy.
I'm not a liar.
Remember when Jackie was like, out of both of us, who would be the type to like fist a guy? And she's like, you.
She said, who would be more like? And you know what? I don't even want to correct you, but
Yeah,
she said,
I don't know. Yeah, don't.
she said
don't,
no.
for I'm good.
But we'll just stick with that one.
Yeah,
We'll
but
cut
either,
that
chose
part
me.
out.
yeah,
basically.
either way, you are that guy. And
I mean, I'm not. I'm actually not.
I
but
respect
I
you
get
for it.
why I would be presumed that way.
I think it's part
I'm
of your charm,
open-minded.
if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm open-minded.
You're dominant.
Okay, wait.
I'm actually not. I'm actually not, but
I
I'm
don't think
open-minded.
you're that dominant.
I'm not.
With guys, you can step all over. You are very dominant. I think that's most people. But like a guy who like will choke you and put you in your place, you're gonna be submissive.
Yeah,
still.
but no, I mean more like in a relationship. Like she is. The,
Oh, you're
she's
very
the boss.
dominant. Yeah,
And by the way,
But
so
in bed, I am not. You
that's
could
the-
ask me to, and I'd be like, cool, slay. But to say that it's coming from the heart,
Yeah.
like it's not. I mean, you always see the CEOs are the ones on their knees winking.
Yeah.
You know what it is when you're calling the shots in the day. You want to be taking the shots at night.
Oh
so-
yeah, you're like, you know what? I'll give that to you. You know what it's giving
That's
right now,
fucking
like
true.
Sopranos. I don't know. You've obviously watched it.
Sopranos?
Yeah.
Sopranos?
You know, did you ever see like Janice like pegging Ralph? Like,
No.
anyways.
But it's good. But you know what's funny though? It's always the unemployed motherfucker who is the most dominant.
Guys with no jobs, they better fuck the best. You have no job. Like,
Literally,
what else
this is
are
your
you
only
doing?
You're
job.
sleeping on a couch. Yeah, you have to fuck to be able to shower in the morning.
The guys with no jobs, those are the real heartbreakers.
They're thirsty. They're hungry. They're fucking for another meal, man.
I actually want to talk about a video that's going viral of mine. I was talking about athletes, but I was just saying that most athletes for their ACL, okay?
So classic, by the way, and they're always the guys who are
it's
like,
so-
I could have gone pro, I played varsity.
Yeah,
okay, so why
it's
didn't
like,
you?
relax, you played in college
Yeah.
and you didn't make it past that. Like,
Relax.
relax, buddy. Like, every guy loves to be the athletic one.
I'm also the one that gets impressed by that. So.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, show me your old football pics.
Yeah, I'm like, can I
But they always pull them out too. This was me.
Yeah.
By the way, if you go on their Facebook pic is always gonna be them when they were in football. It's always gonna be that.
I have
They
a
never
friend.
updated it since then.
I have a friend who's showing me his Pee Wee Hockey League pic. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
By the way, and if they were captain, you best believe that's gonna be slid into the
Yeah.
conversation.
Anyway,
You
so
see the
back
C
to
on
my
my
video
jersey?
that's going viral right now. They're all calling me a whore saying I go for athletes. And like, it's crazy how social media will literally paint you in a way that's completely off. Like, if I tell you my branding is anything but an athlete, right now I'm being called the
But why
athlete
does that
whore.
even make you a whore? Like, honestly, I want to know why going for an athlete actually makes you a whore. Like, I could see why maybe.
I think it's because most guys wanted to be an athlete and they didn't, so they're insecure, so they just attack.
I love athletes. Like, straight up.
I
Love
think
them.
any guy would want to fuck their favorite athlete. So I think they're just jealous.
But
Yeah.
that's what
Like,
I'm
I'm not
saying.
gonna lie. Like, guys, if they met their favorite athlete, they'd be shaking. They'd be literally jerking off in
I
the
don't
corner.
know why it makes you a whore. Like, I see maybe why
guys,
there's like
jealousy.
you're put in a box, but like I personally love like maybe not like a professional athlete. I've never dated one, but like all
Being
my
athletic is
boyfriends,
sexy.
my husband, like they're all like avid sports players, great athletes,
Yeah.
like very competitive. Like I like that.
A sporty guy for sure is the hottest thing. I think.
And I would date an athlete. Like if like back in the day, like I would have for sure like I wouldn't have said no. Like you know,
I mean, you love getting
well,
cheated
you got,
on. So
you
it's
got
okay.
cheated on. You got cheated on with non-athletes. So at this point, yeah,
You know
go
what?
fucking date it out.
I'm gonna stand up for the athletes. Maybe I was the exception. Maybe I would have been.
Well, we all want to be the exception, I think.
Yeah.
think
I mean,
everyone
Alex
believes.
Searle is the exception. I don't think her man is cheating on her.
He's not a great. I mean, I asked my husband. Like, it's not like he's a top dog in the NFL. You
He's
know what I
not?
mean? No,
Okay.
I know we all think he's just famous
Guys,
'cause
girls,
of
we don't know
Alex Earl.
shit, huh? We just
No.
see the jersey and we say, good enough.
Yeah, I said, Brax,
That's the funniest
By the
part.
way, go to my
I
guys.
go for the good
I'm in the
players.
stand. I'm in the stand watching my man. I don't
Guys,
know
the
if
man
he's.
doesn't even have to be running on the team.
I
No,
don't even
he's
know
a
if
bench.
he's
He's a
benched.
bencher.
I don't even know if he's benched.
I just look and I say, nice.
I say, go Team Panther.
Like, I go to my degenerate gambler friend. I'm like, Braxton Barrows. He's like, who? Like, who? Like, he's not even a real fucking guy.
Oh, here we go. We're starting to.
Yeah, that was like, oh, well, I love him, so.
I can't wait for everyone to be like, you're just jealous because you don't get an athlete.
By the way, not jealous. More power to everyone. but-
Anyway, so there was a guy once the video went viral, not the one I spoke about, but another one who like was opening my stories, liking it, not following me. Follows 200 people, literally. And I ended up on his page yesterday. And I see like the green circle. Guys, we're not following each other. I see the green circle. I'm like, wait, hold on. I made it to his close friends and we're not even following each other? Athletes are, they're calculated.
They'll check your story every day, but then they'll never follow you. They follow one person and it's their manager.
But also, I'm not going to lie, I made it to close friends.
I take it as a dub. Like, who cares?
But then I Googled him and I was like, oh, he's 25 years old.
Remember when you were talking to that guy and he told you he was 6 foot, and then I was like, oh, what is he again? A football player? And I Googled it and his height said 5'9". And I was like,
Ooh,
yo,
that's
if you're an
enough.
athlete, you can't start lying about stats.
Absolutely
You can't
not.
start lying because it's on the
public
internet.
info.
Public info. You know what I want to talk about actually that I was talking about with someone
Please take over the
2 days
podcast.
ago? No, but interesting topic. Let me know if you guys agree. I feel like, speaking of insecure men, I feel like there's a lot of insecure men out there, but I feel like between men and women, sometimes guys can actually be more insecure than women, but I don't understand why.
Sometimes?
Because they have way less pressure physically, like for physical beauty in a sense, or like beauty standards for men are so...
I think there's just way more to prove. Like, as a man, like, also, if let's say you're not the best looking guy, we see it all the time. Like, girls don't always date like the perfectly.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, sure, there is a beauty standard, but it's way less like pushed on to
So
men,
much more
and a lot of
lenience
girls.
for
A lot
guys.
of girls don't care. You'll see girls go like dad bods are in, and like girls don't. You'll see the hottest girl with the ugliest guy. So
I love
it's
a
not
dad
even
bod,
like,
by the way.
but it's not even
Yeah.
like you
The
have to
one-
be hot to get the hot girl.
I
Whereas
get what you're
think-
saying. I get
So
what you're
that's-
saying. But the one thing for a man is really money.
Yeah.
And it's a big one. So let's not shy away from that one. And I feel like regardless if you're a girl who cares about money or not, if a guy hasn't made money at all, he will, I promise you, his whole life be insecure. And this is just, even if he's so secure with himself, if he hasn't made any dough, he's insecure.
But I think
That's
a
why I
lot of
think,
guys
like-
are insecure about how they look. And that's why I'm saying, like, they'll be like so, and I do agree, like, they're insecure
Really?
more, like, the pressure of, like, to be successful and all that stuff. But the reality is, like, being successful, making money, like, having, like, if you really want to, it's all about like the actions put in. Like maybe you get a job doing something you don't like, but if your goal is to make money, you can make money. Like there's money to make in this world. It's all about what you do. I believe.
I agree.
Think, like,
I agree.
Okay, pressure to be a man. One, like already being a man is like, you know, like you have a bit of a privilege there to make money. So like it's in your power to be successful and to make money. Obviously, everybody has their disadvantages and there's privilege and there's this and that. But it's in your power. Whereas like physical beauty is only in your power so much. Like you can't, yeah, you can get surgery and this and that, but like there's only so much you can do to actually like, okay, you could go to the gym, like you could change, but you know, to a certain extent. So that's why I'm like, it's funny because I feel like for girls, we're really ripped on our physical beauty and that's where our value comes from. But I see so many guys so insecure about how they look and I'm like, I'm so confused. Like I feel like
I don't understand
there's not
that.
that much pressure for a guy.
I don't care about like
I'm in between this because like we say also that we want a guy who's like athletic, taller than us. Like yeah, we say I think a lot of times we say like dad bod and stuff, but there are a lot of girls who want the guy who has a six pack, who's really really tall. So it's like yeah, if you don't have those things and you worked on making dough.
to me, if a guy's insecure about how he looks, like it's automatically an ick,
Ugly.
and now you're ugly.
Yeah.
like now you're ugly. But if you like thought you were
But
hot
same thing
and
for
you're
a
not,
girl,
I'm like, oh
guys.
wow, this guy's hot.
I
Like,
think the same
must
thing
be,
for
but
a
it's the John
girl.
Summit effect.
No.
It's like you're not hot, but like
An
every,
ugly
you
girl
think,
can be
You don't
confident.
think? I think one time, like whenever I see a girl who's like not confident and like very, very insecure and like she could be the prettiest girl, I start to look at her like she's not pretty.
Absolutely. But that's the same thing for a guy. But I think there's only so far you can go. Whereas a guy, like, you could actually be like, not have any like
Yeah.
traditional beauty traits. And if you're like confident and you're funny and like
fooled me.
charismatic, literally no girl will care. Like,
Yeah.
even the girl who's like, I want the guy 6 foot this, that, she'll still fall in love with you. Because
Yeah.
it's just like,
Because
it
women
goes
don't
so
fall in
beyond.
love with
No,
that,
and that's why
yeah.
I'm saying like it goes so beyond. Whereas a guy, like for a girl, you could be confident, you can have this energy. Guys will still be like, oh, like I like her, but like she's not my type physically. So like they'll get whatever, like a hotter guy than maybe they would if they were insecure. But it's just to say like guys are a little bit more picky about that. Like no matter how confident you are and like, yeah, it'll make you look better and people will perceive you as better looking. But I still think guys have
But
these
then
like
guys have
categories
that
that they
fear
want.
when they get that really hot girl. It's like, oh, is she gonna stay with me? Is she gonna leave me for someone richer than me, hotter than me, taller? I think it really depends.
But I think they'll still go for the person that they find hotter.
I personally think men normally marry a more basic girl.
Well, you know what I was
That's
saying?
a hot
Like,
take.
I
No, but
think
it's
men
true, I think-
marry when they're ready, whoever the fuck is in front of them.
Yes.
That's what they say. It's
Well, I
like,
mean, we'll
yeah.
let Gabby, who's married, talk about this. And I don't mean your man's was like.
No, it's fine. He would have, by the way, like my husband now comes from like a pretty toxic long-term relationship as well. It's like not like he was just looking for marriage. The first thing he said to me on our date was like, I'm like Moroccan, and he's like, I'm not like what you're Moroccans that are waiting to get married. Like I don't need to get married tomorrow. You know what my husband told me actually that I found really interesting? Like guys aren't the type to like get married for them. They're not like I've been, you know, you're the girl, you've been dreaming about your wedding your whole life. They love you enough to be like, I'm going to give you that commitment and marry you. They're not like getting married for them. They're not
No.
the ones who are like, I'm dying to get married.
Yeah.
It's like when they're ready and like, you know, they find a girl who they could see a life with, they'll get married. But a guy's not, most guys at least, they're not getting married for themselves. Like it's for you.
No.
It's like a commitment. It's like, you know, I'm showing you how much I love you and like how committed I am to you and like shut the fuck up for a few years. Like here you go.
It's a status
Yeah.
symbol
You know?
for women for sure, and
Guys,
not for
keyword
men.
for a few years. Gabby, is there trauma there?
I mean, you never know what could happen. A lot of divorce happens. Like, look at the divorce rate in life. I personally think I'll never get one, God forbid. But I'm just saying, it's like having a kid One guy once told me, he's like, I don't want to marry her, you know, so I'm just going to give her a kid. I said, are you stupid?
Way bigger commitment.
Way bigger commitment than getting married.
You are stuck together for life.
Until the kid's at least 18 and
but
then
even
some.
then, you're going to be in their life forever.
Yeah, you're fucked if you
If
get
something
there.
happens to them, you're still ringing that phone. Hello.
Marriage should be sacred and should be a commitment. Like, I have my religious faith and I do believe that like marriage is sacred and it's a commitment and it should be shared between two people that, you know, share the same faith more or less and see it the same way. But let's be real, nowadays people are just getting married and like divorce can happen and it is way less of a commitment than having a child. It is
100%.
like,
I totally agree with you.
Way less of a commitment, and it's like it means a lot to me, like who you're with. Like you got to gauge like how they feel about marriage. Like if they're just doing it to shut you up and you're just annoying because you want to get married, yeah, you might be looking at a couple good years and then you're getting tossed to the side. You have to know who you're marrying. It's your responsibility too.
You have to find somebody who literally shares the same values as you. If not, it's going to be, you guys are getting divorced.
Forever is like we were talking about this the other day.
That's what I wanted to get into.
Forever is like a long time. Like obviously we say like life is short, you know, we see people come and go all the time, but forever, like you're committing to forever with someone, that's a long time.
Well, like even before you were saying, you know, you're like, I'm not getting divorced, knock on wood. Like for you, it's like we made the commitment, we're going to die together. Like this is what it is. But I feel like even I in the past have made so many comments about like, yeah, I'm getting married once. It is what it is. But also, like, it's very easy to talk about it when you're not in the situation. You don't have kids. You don't get cheated on. Like, all these things I get. Like, you can go into something completely one way and then have a different view once life happens.
But the forever commitment is life is gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's like we've never had kids when we got married. We've never had kids. We will. None of us know what it's like. You know, we might be throwing some curveballs. We have to know how to deal with them. People, God forbid, pass away. You have to deal with it with that person.
Yeah.
You lose your job. Like, you need to deal with the curveballs that life throws at you that you have no control over. Like, these are external factors that you have zero control over. So picking your partner is extremely important in that respect. Now, forever is a long time. What we were saying is, like, every partner, like, I'm actually asking the people who have been married for 20 years plus.
Yeah.
Like, people go through really hard times. Like, I want to know, like, how hard does it get? Like, does everyone, like, cheat at some point? Because, again, forever is a very long time. I'm not saying I'm going to cheat. I'm more projecting my fears onto, like, you know? Like, am I going to get cheated on? Like,
I think, well, your big fear was like when my husband makes so much money, which you are very confident he will.
He's gonna, like, you know, he's gonna get to his dreams.
But
he works at them.
I saw something that I thought was really interesting, like really recently, and it said like when you choose to commit to someone, like we have this fear of commitment because we think we're committing to a person. We're like, what if I don't love you anymore? What if I don't love, like, what if you change? What if this? What if that? And the truth is, like, everyone changes. And when you're committing to a relationship, you're committing to the relationship. You guys are both deciding, like, I'm going to show up this way in my relationship, and so are you. And that's the commitment. It's not the person. It's not who they're going to be, who they're going to become. You're committing to forever in this relationship. I'm going to show up in this way. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. You're committing to, like, the partnership. Whereas I think like we get this fear because we're like, oh, what if you change? And what if you become successful? And what if you become this? But if you guys both committed to these relationship values, that's the real commitment.
100%.
And that's what people...
As a girl, like statistically, we all get hit on way more than guys do. You know, you walk outside your house, it's normal. Guys are offering you drinks, like we get hit on more.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about that. Wait, pause there. Tika fresh. Okay, Gabby, since you're married, I feel like you're the perfect person to ask this.
You act like I'm an expert.
You're an expert. So you're married.
You've been married?
Yeah.
One year?
Not even a year.
Yeah,
not even a year. It doesn't matter. She's married. She's married. We don't have a rock on her finger. Also, show everyone the rock.
I can't, but...
So, we were talking about this. So you were saying how if you go out with your girlfriends and if you go out with your girlfriends and your husband isn't there, you will take a drink from a guy who's buying drinks. You're not going to be the girl who's out with all your single friends.
By the way, I just want to clarify that because you're right. Like, by the way, I'm not going to be like, I have a husband. Let me pull out my wallet. Pay for my one single drink. Like, I think like no matter like when my friend was dating her boyfriend, we were all single. Okay, we'd go out. I think we're taking out our wallets for a drink. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And if we did. Oof, that friend would hear it like your man's a scrub. We all pay for our drinks. Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And it's like, men buy you drinks all the time. Like we're sitting at dinner. If we were all at a girls' dinner, we would get sent shots for sure. And by the way, if my man is out with his single friends and there's girls that like,
I was gonna ask that. I was like, let's get into this.
And they bring in a bunch of single girls, like, and he's like, I'm not paying for this girl's drink. I would be embarrassed. Repulsed.
I would be embarrassed.
Repulsed. By the way, if it's a one-on-one situation, he's talking to this one girl, and like we're crossing a line. But if a girl's coming with like all her friends and he's with his friend and he's like, I'm not paying for these girls. Like I'm married.
I would have the biggest ick. I would
but
have
it's
the
all
biggest
about
ick.
intention. Like if you're a man and you're going to a girl and you're paying for that girl's drink specifically, whoa, that's persuade. Like you're pursuing.
Disgusting.
Whereas like if you're a girl, you're in a group of friends and someone buys you guys a round of shots. There's no like you're not being persuaded there. Like you're not being pursued there. You're just like cool.
You're just
taking
part
this
of a
drink.
group, like
it is what it is. You're accepting, but you're not like going out of your way. Which is why I think that's the difference. Is like for a guy. Like the amount of time that a girl's gonna go up to them and offer them a drink is like, let's be real, it's
very
not happening.
slim.
Very
Yeah,
slim.
that's never
But
happening.
even if it's like okay, like they're not pursuing the girl, but I think that's a different dynamic. Like for a guy to go up to a girl, buy her a drink, like that's the intention there is to pursue.
Yeah.
The other way around, you're just like, thanks for the free drink. Peace. Like
no, like you said, it's about intention. Like she's talking about a group. Like that's totally fine with me.
100%.
The line that's crossed for me is when we leave the club and we're exchanging Instagrams or numbers or whatever, and you intend to like keep it going past that one night. That's the line for me. That's like it stays in the club. Don't fucking embarrass me, obviously. Like you know.
Also, I think what we forget a lot of the times is like men and women, like flirting is fun, okay? I think in a relationship, not in a relationship, it's nice to have that, you know? And I think if you are very secure in your relationship, okay, he's like flirting with a girl, like he's going home with you. I don't know, I think a little bit of flirting is fine. Okay, this is gonna come off really bad, but I think it's also like in my mind, I'm like, oh, like my husband still got it, my boyfriend still got it. I'm going home and I'm fucking his brains out. Like, I think it's that idea that like other people want my man, but like no one's gonna have my man. I think it's that like, yes,
situational for sure.
She's like already on.
But
the
also,
I
like, if you take that away from a guy, I think it's like, okay, it's like having a dog and never taking him off the leash, okay? It's like having a child and you never allow them to do anything. You're so strict to the point where you're gonna let go of the leash, you're gonna let go of the dog. He's going to run. If you actually allow your partner to like be himself, flirt a little bit and like actually just be themselves a little bit, I think that they're not gonna run to cheat, but I think it's like you're always cheating.
But what
you
you're
can't
saying right now is trust.
You
Like,
can't even look at a girl. It's like
That's what you're
the
saying,
second
though.
you're not gonna be there, he's probably gonna cheat. I think you need to have that like trust, that like I don't know, that
I think
confidence.
it depends. Like I think there's a difference because I get what you're saying, but for me it wouldn't be flirting. Like I think there's a line between like flirting with a girl and
what's
having
flirting?
a conversation. Like
What's
I mean,
flirting?
like because I'm saying like you guys are out, you're with like he's with his single friends, bunch of girls come, they're chit chatting. He's getting the attention, he's getting the validation, but he's also not like your hair looks really good. Like you look good. That, and for me, that's flirting. And I think that's like, okay, what are you doing here?
that's disrespectful.
But going out and being able to, I think it's sexy when a guy can navigate a girl's attention and be like, you can handle it and be like,
and
hey,
he's
yeah,
not like overwhelmed. Like, oh
Yeah, like
never,
don't start with compliments.
Yeah, that's why for me, like that's the flirting. Like when it starts being like, yeah, like that, then I'm like, whoa.
Well, because then
but
as
if
the
you
girls,
can take attention and be like, yeah, cool, and be smooth with it, I think that's fine
That's
and cool. And yeah, it's sexy.
stressful.
That means
100%. It always comes down to the girl never wants to feel like an idiot. If your man is there saying to the other girl, "Oh, I love your hair," it's like now we start to feel a bit like insecure and like an idiot because we're like, okay, our man is hitting on another woman. But if he's like bantering and it's all jokes, it's like, okay, like at some point, like let it be. Let it be.
I mean, it's like anything. I think that in a relationship, when you hold someone so tight, you guys are gonna break up. The first thing that person's gonna go do is go do everything you didn't let them do. You don't want to go on a yacht? Boom, this girl's booking 10 yachts. She'll pay for the yacht herself just to be like, I'm on a fucking yacht. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's like the rebel that you want to do. Whereas when you have the freedom and it's like, yo, I trust you, but like obviously trust is earned too. You know what I mean? Like if my man's out flirting every weekend, I'd be like, hey, listen. You know what I mean? Like there's boundaries.
No, there's like you said, it's situational.
Live your life. Like and the thing is, like I feel like I can choose a partner that's I like guys who are outgoing. I like people that are charismatic, and I like people that can
You like
command
guys
a
who are
room.
in the clubs.
Yeah, but I like people that like know how to work a room, and I think with that comes with that like charisma and being able to
You don't
talk to
want to
people.
babysit
But it's
someone when you go out.
yeah,
Like,
I think it's sexy. You could talk
Of
to a room
course,
full of
you
people,
take them
guy
out
or
with
girl.
your
That's
friends.
the worst thing. Like you have to
Yeah.
go out with your partner and your partner can't hold his own. It's so unattractive.
By the way, another married thing is your friend groups are getting married too. It's like you're taking him out with your friends and like you don't want to fucking babysit him all night and like manage his mood and be like, oh, like, you know, like you want him to be able to hold his own. So that comes with charisma, which with like maybe, you know, there's those girls that are like, you said hi to that girl, like blah blah blah, like that's insecurity. Like yes,
Low-key,
there
though, when
are
you see your
lines.
man like looking at like someone you know is his type, and like you see him glance
No,
over,
like,
you're
close
like,
your eyes.
close your eyes, close your eyes.
Like for me, it's a bit of an ick when a guy's like, oh, like I can't have any girlfriends, or like they only look at women as like either
Like
I'm
sexual
pursuing
objects,
you
yeah.
or not at all. Because then if you're that type of guy, I know whenever you're talking to a girl, I'm like, okay, so what's your intention then? Because you don't believe in like value outside
Yeah.
of a potential relationship or outside of sleeping with
Remember
them.
when you were working in, you were waitressing?
There's a guy I was seeing, it was his brother. I used to see this guy and then like I broke it off with him. It just didn't work out, but we were on good terms. And he was like, would come often to the club that I worked at. And he came with like his group of friends and his brother. And I guess like the brother just like had bad blood towards me because I broke it off with his brother. I guess like he was more salty. So like, you know, they had bought some bottles and they split the bill in like 3 ways. And I brought the bill to like, you know, the guys. And when I got to the brother, he tipped me like the bare bones minimum. Like, and he was like attitude the whole time. And then I got to one of the friends, which one of the friends in the group was one of my good clients. And he was like going to tip me like a nice tip, whatever. And the guy came and said, "Don't tip her that." Took the machine, switched the tip to the
That's
like
an ick,
lowest
by the way.
option.
That's a good example. It's
By the way,
like,
by
okay.
the way, if I was dating that guy and he did
I'd be
that,
embarrassed.
I would be
But the brother
embarrassed.
would like the brother I already know would have been like, "What the fuck?" Had he knew that happened.
Ew.
But like, just to say, imagine being the girl who has to be out with him.
It's embarrassing. Like
It's
all that shit's- Imagine
embarrassing.
you're the girl that's dating the guy that's like making you split the bill. Like, you know, like you're out with your friends and her boyfriend, and like
can't.
it's gross. Like, and it's not like a gold digging thing. It's like classic chivalry. Like anyone who's commenting right now, being like, gold diggers, it's like you're fucking broke and you're just like a loser. It's like you're taking out your girlfriend and her friends. How are you gonna let them take out?
Well, I had this conversation with Ted. So, Ted, if you're watching this,
It's ridiculous.
Ted was like, "Well, why?
Okay, wait.
Why do I have to pay for the friends?"
15 girls. Well, actually, depends what setting, but like
15 girls.
If I have a dinner, 15 girls is a little nuts.
If you
But
put
if
yourself
you
in
have
a
a table at the club and there's girls there, you're gonna make them chip in for the bottle. You already bought the bottle.
No, if you're at the club, it's a different
Yeah, no,
story. If you're
dinner-
showing up to a birthday dinner, you're one guy out of 20
birthday
girls.
dinners are
You're picking up
different.
the bill. It's a bit.
Although,
you know.
I do
I mean,
appreciate
I
when
will
my
say-
man picks up the tab at a birthday dinner.
Oh, for sure.
But I
Hottest
will
thing.
say-
Yeah. Thanks, babe.
She was there for this. One time I was dating this guy and we were at it was my birthday dinner. I think we were like 6 people. And we were like 6
Veronica,
people.
I'm having a hard time listening to the
We
story.
were- Well, I lived it. We were like 6 people and we were sitting at a table, birthday dinner. I'm like 6 of my closest friends. And all of a sudden my boyfriend gets up. My boyfriend at the time gets up, leaves. So I'm like, all right, like we're waiting for the bill. We asked the waiter, we're like, where? And I have no idea where my boyfriend went, by the way. We're waiting for the bill. We call the waiter. We're like, hey, like, can we have the bill? Like, we were like waiting. He's like, oh, no worries. Like, it was taken care of. So we're like, what? He's like, yeah, like your boyfriend took care of the bill. And I was like, oh my God, like, but I knew what kind of, like, I was like, oh no, like, this is not what I wanted. And I don't think, like, everyone at the table too was like, oh, like, that wasn't, like, you know that thing where it's like, oh, that's not what we were trying to do. And then I was like, oh, what the fuck? So I call him and I'm like, hey, like, where are you? He's like, I'm in the car.
Because we're all kind of waiting
We're all
at the
waiting.
table.
Yeah, we're like
it was beaching.
waiting.
We're all waiting,
We're waiting for him
like.
to come back, say thank you, something. I call him like, hey, where are you? He's
No,
like,
we're
I'm in
all
the
waiting
car.
for the bill.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, where are you? He's like, I'm in the car. I'm like, oh, I'm like, you're in the car. He's like, yeah. And keep in mind, this was valet. So he got the car out of valet,
Yeah.
had time to get the car, sitting in the car. He's like, yeah, let's go. So I'm like, well, I'm like, did you pay the bill? He's like, yeah, let's go. Come on. Like, I'm waiting for you.
I hate
I'm
those
like,
guys.
what? So now it's awkward because he went out of his way to pay the bill. By the way, no one asked him to do that. And it wasn't
Yeah.
even a situation where I think like it was, like, I think everyone would have just been like, whatever. Like, it was a nice thing to do, but everyone would have been
Was
like, whatever.
expecting
Like,
to pay anyways,
yeah, everyone's
yeah.
like, whatever, we'll cover the bill. Like, who cares? We were young at the time, too. Anyways, so we're like, what the fuck? So now we all get outside and he's in the car and my friends are like trying to say thank you to him,
It's
like
so
through the window of
awkward.
the car. He's pissed out of his mind.
But why?
We leave.
If we think about it, why was he pissed? Because he paid the bill, or because he was pissed that we didn't say thank you? But bro, he left before we could even say thank you.
He wasn't pissed that so I think guys don't do something out of the kindness of their heart majority of the time. Guys do something. Like they're not trying to be sweet. They're doing it because they want to be perceived as that guy who can do it, and they want to they want to be that guy who could pick up the tab. But sometimes they can't afford to be that guy who could pick up the tab. So it's like,
act your wage.
Act your wage. But it's not even to be mean, but it's like he wanted this like, wow, thank you. But it was like, whoa, like they expect this extravagant like sense of like approval for something that one, no one asked you to do. Two, you left before anyone could even say thank you, and it's like awkward now. So it's like he didn't get the praise that he wanted out of it. Like
bro, he left to get the praise.
He left. So the rest of the night, he was so mad. Like we went out to a club after that. He was so mad.
He ruined your birthday, honestly.
Ruined my birthday. By the way, he ruined every single holiday we ever had. But ruined my birthday and was so mad that he picked up the bill. Like he was.
But no, I think context. I think like obviously when we're all like whatever younger, like let's say like 18, 19, 20, like. You know, and you're dating a guy your age, like it's not expected for him to pick up the whole bill. I'm talking like context really does matter. And if you're at the club with your boys and you're already getting a bottle and like we're all there with like your girlfriend and we're all her single friends, we're not like, you're already getting the bottle whether we were there. That's my thing is like, don't just try to save a penny. Like be chivalrous. Like men need to just be, there needs to be like a certain sacrifice for women when it comes to men. You know, like men used to go to war and like fight for us.
Literally.
Like they used to put their fucking jackets on a puddle so we don't get our feet wet. Like something to that extent. And it's like, if you're already there and you're already drinking and this was already an expense in your head, like don't even go there. I'll leave the fucking table. Like straight up. If that, I can proudly say that has never happened to me past a certain age, obviously.
I just also think like if you're broke, you shouldn't date. And I think we've spoken about this and we could speak about it again. It's not a hot take. Focus on yourself, King. Focus on yourself. Get to a point where you can actually take out a girl for dinner. Don't fucking do these. I'm sorry. Like, I think be a man who's like I think women want to be with a man like worth being with. So like focus and take the time it takes to become that person that someone would want to be with. I think if you can't afford a dinner, if you can't afford to go to the fucking club and buy the bottle, then you should not be out. And look, the same rule does not apply for a girl, but we both we could have $2 in our bank account and go out.
I saw this meme that was like, girls are such scammers. They go out with $7 and had a blast.
Yeah, I saw that. So
but like, you know what's crazy is the men that are angry about that.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
man that bothers me. Don't worry. Don't be angry. Stay at home.
Don't worry. Literally, don't
worry. Don't fucking worry. Focus on yourself.
But that's why I say, like, it's the same thing with my birthday dinner thing. Don't do something if you're going to be angry about it.
That's
if
the
you can't
craziest
afford
move.
it, if you can't do it, just don't. Like, the reality is, like, just don't. No one asked you to do it.
Just don't. Or if he doesn't even want to be put in that situation, babe, I'll do a dinner with you. You do a dinner with your girlfriend.
Literally,
boom,
perfect.
Done.
Know your
It
role.
takes the stress away from everybody. We're not eating dinner stressed to order another drink because we don't know what the fuck is going on at fucking the bill.
Know where you stand and don't be mad if you can't measure up, because like I think it's like, I think it's hot when I would rather you don't do something for me and we're all happy than you do it and it's like now I feel like now I have to like I feel guilty that you did it. You know what I mean? Like it
takes away everything. It's like you weren't even happy to do it. It's like now we're going out for my birthday and like you're a sour puss. Like all my friends are watching you be so angry. They know you didn't want to pay this bill at this point.
Everyone's so awkward.
It's like I feel embarrassed because I'm like an extension of you.
Yeah.
And it like it's just a shit all around. But
okay, just fuck it. We don't get to see ourselves.
I mean, let's say that we had some technical difficulties.
We went as far as to talk about communion and shit.
Yeah, we said that Ariana wouldn't be a good host on Love Island. Thoughts, concerns? You change your mind?
I walk it back. Ariana was amazing. She was a sick host. Her looks were on fire. This season was incredible.
She really got that skinny. I don't know if it's Ozempic. I don't know if it's going through a breakup.
It's basically getting cheated on, like with your best friend. But she was incredible. Like as a Love Island junkie, she was amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. Great job.
I wanted to talk about dating shows and whether or not we would all go on one.
I would. If I was single, I would fucking kill. I applied for Love Island when I broke up with my ex.
Wait, so I was at Veronica's in our podcast studio. I don't think I've ever said this. And I was like, I really need good lighting. I need like a good background because I was doing an audition.
Quebec?
I was doing the video. No, not for Quebec.
Oh, I was like, no way, because Jess did that.
No, she was auditioning for Too Hot to Handle.
I think it was because at the time they weren't saying what it was for. It was
they
like
would always cast under a pseudonym.
Oh, it's for sure Too Hot to Handle.
It was
they were
Too Hot to
always
Handle.
casting as like
For
you're gonna be
sure.
on an island with girls and guys and like all this shit, but they didn't say what the show would be that I would be on.
Oh,
so
100%.
I was literally doing my interview with like producers watching in a bikini. Like I don't think you understand. In my old podcast studio, Veronica in the other room, like trying to listen, like what is she saying, and asking me questions like, "What's your type? If you were to be an emoji, what would it be?" They're like the devil because I'm the devil. Like you're saying shit that's not even true because you're like, I'll say anything to get on this fucking
That's
show.
what reality TV people do, by the way. It's just you have to do it for the content.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do it?
I mean, I
She
did.
did.
I tried. I didn't
Yeah.
get chosen, and then
But
after
you did
that,
like what, like round 2 or something?
I think
like,
I think it was first. I think it was 3 rounds. Like first is like just. I think email, and then the second is a phone call, and then the third is video, and then I think fourth is like if they're like having you on. So
I'm
I did
like trying to
3.
convince Veronica, but she gave me a valid reason, and I understand why.
But you know what though?
But I am still Team Veronica. Like I would be fucking running your
No, I
socials
think you
while
would
you're
kill
in there.
it.
People
you would
say
kill it
all the time
People
that I would
would
kill it.
love you.
I
You
would
would
I
travel.
was this close to the last casting. I filled out my application and I just didn't submit it because I was like, my problem is if by chance, like whatever, I would get chosen, I wouldn't be able to say no.
But you would be the Leah of the season.
But I wouldn't be able to say no, and I just don't know if I could handle it, and I don't know if I'd be good.
It's a
to be
valid.
honest.
It's a valid reason.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it really is, and especially like looking at the history of Love Island, like. There's been like major mental health issues.
People
like,
committed suicide.
3 people have, and those stats are not nothing.
like okay, I'm not saying I would commit suicide.
No, but I get
would
what you're
just be
saying.
too
It gets to you,
concerned.
and you're
Yeah.
blinded from the outside world.
That's
so,
what scares me.
You
I'd be
get
too
out, you have
concerned that I
no
get out,
idea.
yeah.
And I
So
think
get it.
already, like when we had the podcast together, like it's hard when people are shitting at you. Like it really is. And everyone could say, I'm confident, I'm this, but if you are not in the situation, please don't speak. Because like we used to share the hate, so it was like it was easy. But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes like I will do everything in my power to like gaslight myself. Like I won't go read the comments, I'll shut comments off. And the root of it is like at the end of the day, I know who I am and my friends and family do. So like all these people talking, it's like no. But sometimes you land on one that's already an insecurity and someone lays it out there, and then it's fucking over.
When we
I think
started
it's
Just the Tip,
Yeah.
that was my first experience with like internet hate at all.
But to be fair, like my thing is like, yeah, with the podcast and like the show, I'm saying what I'm saying and I'm like cutting it how I want it to be, and like I have control. Whereas like in a reality TV show, and like I still know I said what I said. Like in a reality TV show, you could come out and be like so
The villain.
so like construed.
You don't
like
have control
so
over the
You don't have
edit.
control, and like you could be a different person. It's like, yeah, I know who I am, but if I'm made to look different than who I know I am deep down,
It would
that
crush
would
you.
really
It's
hurt
crushing,
me. Like I would
yeah.
be like, I wouldn't be able to deal with like everyone hating me or think I'm like the villain or think I'm this when it's like I know I'm not that person.
No,
and
it's fair.
already
I
when
don't
people
think you
don't
would
get that.
come on the show the villain.
never
It's a
know.
fair.
I don't-
like worry. I do think though you would fucking kill it.
I don't like.
But yeah, I get it.
Also, I can't be forced. My thing is like you can't put me in a room and be like someone. Like I can't be like oh my god, I gotta choose one of these guys. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
hate
but
them all.
I feel
don't
like
any.
most of the guys that are there would be your type.
like for me, it's like I would be like coupled up with a guy and I'd be like, you applied for this, like
yeah.
Yeah.
But most of them get scouted.
Yeah, that's fair.
To
That
be
is
fair.
fair.
Shut
To be
up.
fair, the
You
guys
still fill
do
out the fucking-
Some of
They
them
do.
did though.
Most
Like
of
if
them
I
get
get
scouted.
the
Most of them are like,
thing is, like, you go on a reality TV show, like, you guys are in a bubble. Like,
Yeah.
it's like when you meet a guy on vacation and, like, you have, like, a little vacation fling and then you get home and you're like, oh, I would never actually.
I don't like you.
Because, I don't like you. Like, this doesn't fit. That's the scary thing. You go on a reality TV show, you guys get out. Like, who knows? This guy is a split the bill kind of guy. You don't know. You're in a fucking villa where everything's free.
I know, but
like, no one's
and
going on
everyone
dates.
there is like, you're thinking like, oh, I'm on TV, like, you know, I'm gonna keep reminding myself like all of
I would forget
the world is
instantly.
watching.
I
It's
forgot
like,
we're filming.
But by the way, everyone else is like that. So it's like we're all here for the same reasons, baby girl.
Yeah.
You all
I'd
wanted
be
to
walking and strutting with my stomach.
No, guys, I would you don't understand.
I think
I would forget
too.
instantly.
And I say I'd be like you. I'd be like walking and strutting and looking my best. But I think it's hard to keep like they film for a long time. Love Island.
Yeah.
and you don't know what's
Did
making
you
it in, what's not
also
making it
hear
in.
that like on rainy days it's just completely shut off? So
And
like
you're separated.
you're
Boys
just
and girls
separated,
are
boys and
separated,
girls,
and they're
so-
not allowed to talk. Like if I'm coupled up with someone, like I can't talk to you about the guy. Like you have to save it all for the camera.
Honestly,
Gabby's
they
like,
need
I
to
don't know.
study. They need to study
It's
like
a social,
reality
by the
TV.
way, I always say Love Island especially is a social experiment. It's real as fuck, and I feel like I really deep
Yeah.
dive
Okay,
into
last
it.
thing I want to talk about was confidence. For
Need to
anyone
go this
listening
way.
to this right now and is struggling with confidence, what advice, what little tips can we give them to kind of like find it in themselves to be confident in who they are?
I mean, it's the first thing I would teach my daughter if I had a daughter.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing you can have as a woman. It's like, I've dated shitty guys, but I knew the whole time that they were shitty because I'm confident and I know who I am.
Yeah.
I knew it was never going anywhere. And like, I'm very self-aware and like my mom did a very good job at like encouraging me and like standing behind me and also like gently letting me know like maybe
I think step one is really just knowing that like you're in this bitch. Like this is who you are.
you are what like what people perceive you as is what you show them. Like you're in full control of yourself. Like
Yeah.
you don't think you are, but you really are. And like everyone is insecure. Like when they say like picture everyone in their underwear, like
Yeah.
everyone has insecurity. So like already you guys are at a level playing field here.
Yeah.
So like I know it depends like if you're insecure about your weight or your looks or whatever, like there's someone out there for everyone. I don't know where your insecurity may stem from, but the one thing is like you gotta fake it. You gotta talk to yourself nicely. Like you
Yeah.
have to be you have to be nice to yourself. Like fake it till you make it. You'll believe it in the end. And if you believe it, everyone else will. In my opinion.
I mean, my 100% agree with you. And my thing is like, if there's something you hate so much about yourself, you either accept it or you change it. So it's like for me, it's like if you're not happy with your weight and your body, and like it's either you make an effort to fix that. I'm not saying go get surgery or something.
100%.
Like it's just if you could change it, change it. And if you can't change it, then you have to accept it. Because what else do you want to do? Like if you hate something, like let's say I don't know, like something so I don't know, something that you
Acceptance
can't
is
change.
freedom from hell.
Something that you can't change. Okay, let's say it's something you can't change. Hating this every day about yourself won't change it. It's not going to do anything but make you miserable because at the end of the day, that thing is still going to be what it is. So you can't change it just by hating it. So I'm like a strong believer that if it's not something you can change, you have to accept it because you're just only making yourself miserable. Like that's all it's going to do. You know?
I've been on a journey with my weight. Like it was my biggest issue in life. Like I grew up like chunkier, like much chunkier, by the way. Like wasn't like the hot girl in high school. High school was like not my time. And my weight has always been a big thing for me. And like this year I've been on like a journey of like, listen.
On Ozempic?
I wish.
I've been on a journey.
By the way, if someone like says I'm on Ozempic, I'm like, thanks.
Think I'm skinny?
You think I'm
Yeah.
skinny? Thank you.
But no, it's like basically there's like a target weight. Like I'm very toxic with myself. And this year I was like, you know what? Even if I'm not at this toxic weight, like I'm prettier than a lot of these skinny girls. And I started to realize that like I was associating like when I look my best to like how skinny I was. Like that was always a correlation is like I look good because I'm the skinniest I've ever been. But like that's not the truth. And someone once told me that like girls put way more emphasis, a guy put way more emphasis on skinniness than like it actually matters to men. Like be healthy, obviously, but like
I just think most of the time the things you think are such a big deal are not to someone else.
They're
and
not.
like I think a lot of women in their early because we have like this standard of we need to be perfect as women. But I think the more and more you hang out with other women, you realize that like really nobody is perfect. And even the most beautiful person has issues. And like as long as you understand that like what you're seeing on social media and someone's life is never that. Even if you think they have everything, they have the perfect body, they have the perfect boyfriend, everyone is dealing with something.
Yeah.
And that alone should bring you so much peace.
100%. And I think like I think everyone's fear should be looking back and realizing all they did their whole life was worry every day about how they looked and how skinny they are, and like they're not enjoying your life. And like I think like that's sad. Like if you look back on your life and all you can remember is being obsessed with being skinny, like that's not a life I want to live. And
it's
so
like, I didn't eat the fucking fries because
exactly, that's what I mean. Like I'm really a strong believer that once you realize how like happy it is and freeing it is to just accept yourself, you're like, oh, I could enjoy my life. Oh, I can have a good time because I'm not worried about like how I look. Because at the end of the day,
acceptance is freedom from hell. My therapist used to tell me
Yeah.
accept it.
It is, dude.
Accept it and like embrace it.
And
like,
that's why I say if you can't change, if it's not something you can change, or it's not something you're willing to change, cool, you have to accept it, or else you're literally you're a prisoner to this thing that you cannot
you're
change.
And imagine getting older and looking back and going, fuck, I spent all this time. I spent all this time worried about things that don't even matter anymore.
It's like when you worry, like, why didn't this guy like text me back? Like, what, like, is worrying why he didn't text you back gonna help you move forward? It's like after a breakup, like, does he miss me? Why did he break up with me? It's like worrying about why he broke up with me is just gonna take away from like the progress I could put into like moving on and like actually getting over it. So like I'm not hurting where I'm like thinking about that. It's like it's easier said than done, but it's like you gotta put your energy into yourself and like actually being happy, because no one's gonna do it for you. And if you validate yourself through like what other people think or like how many likes you get or whatever it is, like if a guy likes you, you're never gonna be happy.
You're ever to that.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to the X podcast. Guys,
we are professional yappers.
This was fun, guys.
This was fun. Watch Riz Academy. Follow Just the Tip.
So guys, stay tuned for what is it called?
Oh,
Riz Academy?
It's called Riz Academy.
Riz
Very
Academy.
easy.
Sorry, guys, because are you changing your name Just the Tip to Riz Academy?
No, it'll be under Just the Tip.
Yeah,
like we'll still be your favorite yappers.
Okay.
Always yapping.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
It was great.
You're listening to the X podcast.